Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. So, as you can see in the title, is it time for some competition in gaming? And I will ask you that question at the start of this video by putting a poll asking that very question. So, is it time for some competition in gaming? I've been doing a lot of thinking as of late about our big contenders in the game industry. We have, as you guys all know, Sony with the PlayStation 4, Microsoft with the Xbox, and Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch. However, I'd like to discuss my distaste towards each of these businesses, and not as they are terrible businesses, but I'd like to discuss my distaste of the practices that they do. Now, let me start with Sony. As we all know, Sony as of late has been doing quite a bit of the shady things, such as PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now, and PlayStation Classic, which completely is destroying the legacy of Sony and PlayStation, as well as the arrogance that they have showed with Fortnite and crossplay. Whereas Epic Games needed to step in and essentially force them to launch crossplay. And they only did this, in my eyes, to save their hinds from the backlash that they were receiving on social media. And as we all know, PlayStation was at one point free to play online. Just getting that out there. Xbox, however, is no different. Xbox Live, and I think, what is it, Xbox something, like, there's some, I don't know, I don't have much experience with Xbox, but it's like, it's like the equivalent level of bullcrap with PlayStation Now, essentially. It's like Xbox Live something, but excuse me. However, I'd like to give Xbox a bit of praise here, and saying that they are at least on the right track with the Xbox program, where you can take home a console essentially for free and pay it off monthly with no interest, which is quite amazing when you think about it. Just being able to walk home with a free console and just pay it off with no interest. That's the real kicker right there. No interest at all. And now we come down to Nintendo, which I have seen them announce Nintendo. I don't know what it's called, Nintendo Online or something like that, where they are genuinely doing the Sony and Microsoft. They're charging you to play online. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with Nintendo as like the Nintendo Wii or Wii U, but I don't necessarily remember if this was always a thing with the pay to play online. But seeing as I've seen multiple advertisements, I'm guessing that this is something new that they are doing with the Switch, which, once again, I don't like. Now, I've just stated the three people, but what do these all have in common? What do these people all have in common? They are charging us to play games online. Now, the reason that this is so annoying to many gamers, as well as me, is these are not ISPs, aka Internet Service Providers. We pay Internet Service Providers to provide us just that, the Internet. They provide us the service of the Internet. However, I think it's completely ridiculous that a company is willing to charge us to pay the games the games online when we have to pay an internet service provider, which we are essentially end up paying the internet service provider and the service itself of that company, essentially doubling our fees. Now, the issue is this is a completely unnecessary nuisance, because as we have seen in the past, PlayStation Online was once free. It was once free. There's no excuse that you can possibly give me, because let's be honest, the companies that charge this, they don't run the servers. That's not who runs the servers, so there's not really much justification that they can possibly give us as to why we need to play this online, to pay to play this online. That's such a tongue twister. Excuse me, guys. But I've been doing some thinking, and I think I have the perfect suggestion, the perfect competition. And like I said, please do click that eye in the top of the screen, and you will see a voting poll. And tell me, do you agree that games need some competition? Please do vote. And I have the perfect competitor, in my opinion. And that competitor is Steam. Now, I know what you're thinking. Steam is a PC thing, TCD. They never make a console. But I'd like to explain to you why Steam would be the best choice, and just why it's really just so difficult for these companies to receive some competition. For one, you're going to compete, you're going to need a console, which is pretty hard to necessarily make these days, especially when it comes to the name and things like that, the brand, all of that. Two, you're going to need an outlet to sell the games, such as a store or whatnot. And three, you're going to need exposure to and enough credibility to where game developers won't mind making their products on your consoles. Now, as we can see with all three of these things, Steam has already had that problem solved. Steam is the most well-known source of online PC games on the planet. They are known for their incredible sales, at which you can receive games at a very low price, even if they are released relatively recently. And they already have credibility as game developers all over the world are willing to make games for the PC on Steam. So, if Steam was to release a console at a relatively solid price, I'd say around $200, $250 to compete well, as well as the typical, 60 frames a second, 1080p type crap. What this would do is this would allow console players to experience Steam in their comfort zone. Their comfort zone being console. As well as allowing them to experience the Steam store, because there's Steam and then there's a Steam store, guys, in which you are receiving games for incredibly low prices, and the coup de grace, as they say. No internet pay-to-play fee. Do you have any idea how quick hardcore supporters of Sony and Microsoft would, ditch these guys just to save a couple of bucks? I mean, people who have cars will literally drive a couple of more blocks down just because the gas is 10 cents cheaper. So, with the game, I think it's pretty easy to see that people would also do that with games. And what you would have here is you would have something. I don't necessarily know what the console name would be called if it's made by Steam. But it would already have enough credibility because it's Steam. You would have its own store all ready to go because it's Steam. And people would be able to experience the Steam experience from the console experience and everything. So, tell me, guys, do you think that this is what we need? Do you think Steam is the key like me? Because I really think that Steam is what we need to just put these developers in their place. And you guys are probably like, oh, but TCD, what about Fortnite? Epic would never work with Steam. Well, what you'll have there is a good old state of hypocrisy. Because if Epic refuses to release Fortnite on Steam, which even though it's just one game, it's a very popular game, the world's most popular game, I might add, Epic would now be in the state that they put Sony in, where they were like, hey, crossplay. But now that it's Steam and you're trying to compete against Steam, you'd be in the same situation. So that would rather be pretty hypocritical of them. But either way, I wouldn't say that you should just cop out of buying a console just because of one game. At least in my opinion. As fun as Fortnite is to play, I'm sure there's tons of other games that you could play, and you'd be playing them for free to play all the time, so long as you have your internet service provider, and you have access to the amazing sales. So when you think about it, is Fortnite worth sacrificing all of that? Not to me, at least not in my opinion. But that is going to bring this video to an end. If you are new here, I do hope that you've been taking notice of what you will currently see probably right now, which are the end screens. As you will see, there will be little links that you can click on that will direct you to another video of mine, perhaps a previous video or a playlist. I do hope that you will take the time to vote in that poll that I have created, asking, do you agree? Do you think that it's time for some competition? Yes or no? Please do take the time to vote. I'd also want to direct you to the watermark that I have in the bottom right hand corner of the video, as that is an easy way that you can simply hit subscribe if you are interested in subscribing. And if you do happen to click that button, please hit that and the notification bell, as that is the only way that you will receive videos in your subscription feed, because YouTube's still broken. As always, rate the video what you think it deserves. Tell me what you would like to see in the future in the comments below, and I will see all of you in the next video. Take care.